Hey guys and girls, pretty crazy. I am trying out the new version of Notebooklm January 2025, and it's got this new interactive mode which allows you to join the podcast live and ask questions. And for those of you that are new to Notebooklm, it's a free product. It's a Google product. It's one of the killer apps that I spoke about late last year, and it's just got better. So you can feed it sources. My topic here is about AI coding and how someone sold their app for $3,000, and I fed it all these sources from YouTube videos to some websites to create the podcast to give it a knowledge base. And then I'm going to interact with it in a bit. So you're going to see how this actually works. Pretty cool. Welcome to AI Creative Academy, by the way. If you enjoy this content, like, subscribe.
I think our listeners got something to say.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
Hey there, it's going great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, doing fantastic. We're just getting into the nitty-gritty of Bolt.new.
We were just talking about how it's a full-fledged dead environment that runs right in your browser.
It really is amazing. So you just jump in at a great time.
Absolutely. Now, where were we? Yes, even though it is focused on simplicity, Bolt actually has it.
Wow, so it's not just like a basic code generator. It's a pretty fully fledged development environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I know there's another AI code. Oh, yeah. Go on.
Yeah, I've used Bolt.new to build apps and Cursor, but are there any other alternatives to Bolt.new right now, and how long has Bolt.new been on the market?
That's a great question, and it's super relevant given that we're talking about Bolt and Cursor.
Yeah, you're definitely thinking along the right lines. You know, the space is evolving super quickly.
So while Bolt and Cursor are probably the most talked about, there are some other options out there depending on what exactly you're looking for.
Let's unpack that. So, like, what are some of these other alternatives?
Well, there's a tool called Banani, for example. It focuses on letting you generate interactive UI prototypes from simple text prompts.
Okay, so it's more about the design side of things. Oh, you've already been using Bolt and Cursor. That's fantastic.
It sounds like you've got some hands-on experience.
And you're wondering about other alternatives, right? Well, yeah,
Yeah, so this guy Jay sold his app for $3,000. How did he deploy that app and market it to find his first customer?
Okay, that's a fantastic question. It really gets to the heart of making these AI tools useful.
Yeah, it's one thing to build an app, but it's a whole other thing to actually get it out there and sell it.
So, from what we can tell from the sources, Jay, the guy who sold the app for $3,000, used Bolt's built-in Netlify integration for deployment.
Okay, so that means he didn't have to mess around with any complicated server setups. It was just a push of a button.
Exactly. It made it really easy for him to go from code to a live app. Bolt integrates with Netlify out of the box.
So that's how we deployed it. What about finding that first customer?
That's where things get really interesting. He didn't do any kind of mass marketing campaign. Instead, he was really targeted.
How so?
Well, he built the app for a specific client who had a specific problem. He saw someone in a forum who was struggling with a task, and he offered to build a solution.
So instead of casting a wide net, he focused on a very niche need.
Exactly. And he actually presented the app to the client who loved it so much he bought it for $3K.
Wow. So it was saying, oh, hey there, how can we help?
Is it still too late to build and document my AI coding journey on YouTube similar to Jay?
Okay, let's unpack this. It's definitely not too late to build.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. It raises a good point about timing.
It might feel like the AI space is moving so fast that you've already missed the boat, but I think it's the opposite.
Exactly. It's not about being first. It's about using the technology effectively, and there's still a lot of room to innovate.
It reminds me of what David Anglais said in his YouTube video, that this is like the early days of the internet or buying Bitcoin in 2009. It's a massive opportunity.
Yeah, and the great thing about tools like Bolt is that they're making it easier for people to bring their ideas to life.
Oh, that's a great point, and it kind of touches on a core part of how Bolt works.
Yeah, it's not just about building, but also about the whole process. So you're saying that it's important to also document your project while you're building.
Exactly. I mean, if you're working in Bolt, you could just describe what you want in plain English, and it will try to generate the code for you, but you'll still want to keep track of the big picture.
And you really see that in some of these YouTube videos where people are using Bolt. It's like they are trying. Yep, go on.
So Jay mentions he uses Figma to build the visual mockups and then feed those screenshots to Bolt. Do you know what the price is to use a tool like Figma, and is there a steep learning curve?
That's a great question. Okay, let's unpack this. Figma does have a free plan, which is pretty generous.
Yeah, you can do quite a bit with the free plan, and it's a great way to get started and see if it's right for you.
And as for the learning curve, well, like with anything, there's a bit of a learning curve, but it's pretty intuitive.
It's not like you have to be a designer to use it. There are tons of tutorials and resources out there to help you along the way.
And it's totally worth learning because it's really helpful for clarifying your vision, which is important when using a tool like Bolt.
Exactly. And it makes it so much easier for Bolt to understand what you want, as you were saying, like when you give it a visual blueprint to follow.
Thanks, guys.
It's like speaking the same language as the AI. Anyway, we were just saying that it's not just a code generator.
Right. It's a whole